How we doing, everybody? Tim from Ski Rex Media with another Q&A minicast. How is your Friday, everyone? Is it going well? Is it TGIF for you, or is Friday just another day? Either way, thank you for joining me here. Thank you for listening. This week, or this Friday, for this episode, I should say, we're going to talk about a question from another Twitter participant, our boy up in Maine, Mike, at SnowbumLife on Twitter. He's been talking about a bit, and we've all kind of been talking about it, his tour in 2021, February 2021, to Vermont, starting at Jay Peak, heading south to Mount Snow, along Route 100, big route here in the state of Vermont, and he's been talking about it with a lot of people, and we've all thrown in some stuff on Twitter, but he and I were talking about it specifically, and he asked me about the mountains to visit along Route 100, and the lodging to stay in on that trip. 8 mountains, 8 days, so it's going to be about 7-8 nights, maybe 9 nights in hotels or things of the like, inns. And I have to be honest, I don't know much about the lodging because I've never had to use it. When it comes down to it, I grew up here, so going to a mountain, even though I lived up not far from Mount Snow, and that's where I would go most of the time because I worked there. And then years later going to, while I worked there, I was also going to Killington a bunch, and then we would go to Stratton a bunch because we still had friends there. So we could get tickets, save that money. But we always ended up staying either at our own houses. When I moved to New Jersey, I would stay with my friends up here. And sure enough, one of our friends, oddly enough, his wife's aunt and uncle had a house in the same town I graduated high school from. So we ended up starting to use that. So lodging we never really had to use. I don't know much about it because of it. And now that I'm back in Vermont, obviously I don't have to use it now unless I really don't want to drive home. But we're not going to talk about lodging because of that, because I'm openly admitting that I don't know much about it. Mike, you're going to have to do your own research on that one, brother. But the wonderful thing about the internet is that everybody gives out their opinions. So I'm sure you'll be able to find good and bad opinions on everything. But we're going to talk about the mountains. And I have a little map here set out in front of me on the old tablet. Let me show you this map real quick. This map is, if you look at it, it's a Google Earth map, obviously, with no other lines except that nice little orange one, and that is Route 100. And then you could see all the mountains along Route 100. Now, we're going to start doing this from a couple different points of view because he asked me, he's like, what mountains? So we're going to start with the most obvious mountains. These are the ones that are, obviously Jay Peak's off it a little bit, but, these are the mountains that are really close to Route 100. So let's take a look. Back to the map. Let's take a look. This is the easy way to do it. Jay Peak, Smugs, Stowe, Mad River Glen, Sugar Bush, then drop all the way down to Killington and Pico, which I have them both there because obviously they're right next to each other. One ticket's going to work. So you can either pick or split your day on both. And then you drop down to Okemo and you drop down to Mount Snow. And those are the easy ones to do. Obviously, they're all right next to Route 100, and a couple of them are right on Route 100. Like Okemo is 100, 103. Mount Snow, its axis is right there. Killington is right there. So these are the easy ones to do. Now, the thing about them is you notice there's some missing. And I just picked these for ease. And as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But Killington and Pico kind of count as the same one. Now, that's how I would do it if I wanted to be completely mindless and just kind of take those mountains, just take the mountains that are right there, simple to the point. But there's some good ones on there. People love Mad River Glen, people love, Killington. I love Killington. I love Mount Snow, that. But there's a couple things we can change depending on what you want to do and how much traveling you want to do, or, a couple different things. Well, let's get into the next part. Let's go up to the area around Stowe and Smuggler's Notch. Now, if we go there and look at that map, what we can see, let me try and bring my map up so I can see it. All right, so here we go. So now you could take Smuggler's Notch and you could take Stowe and you could swap one of them out for either Bolton Valley or Cochrane's. Now, Cochrane's is very local and has a rope tow. So if you kind of wanted to get that flair, that real local vibe, you could do that. But that's probably unlikely. Not because it's a bad thing, but if you're scheduled, a nice structured trip and you got your 8 mountains in 8 days, why do a rope tow? Plus, you could just hit it. If it's open when you go through there, just run in there, hit it, 1-2 runs, and back on the road. But let's look at the other one that's more obvious, is Bolton Valley. Now, people love Bolton Valley. Bolton Valley always has snow. It seems every time it's even raining here in the valley, it's snowing up at Bolton Valley. Just like a lot of the other obviously, the higher up, the more chance of snow, and Bolton Valley is one of them. Plus, they run lifts till like 10 o'clock. So that's pretty cool too. Now, which one do you swap out though? Stowe or Smuggler's Notch? For me personally, I would switch out Smuggler's Notch. Now, I'm not hating on Smuggler's Notch at all. I'm really not. The thing that would draw me to Stowe is the fact that it's on Mount Mansfield. And unless I'm wrong, that's the tallest mountain in the state of Vermont, and that just fascinates me. Plus, because it's up there close to $5,000, 5,000 feet, you could probably get some cool runs in there. Like that's where the snow's going to be if it's not going to be anywhere else. So, in this section, I would personally switch out Smuggler's Notch for Bolton Valley if I were going to do that. And I would love to go to Bolton Valley. See, the thing here with me is that Smuggler's Notch, Stowe, and Bolton Valley, I've never been to any of them. Never been to any of them. So I really can't throw out anything more than, maybe where a pass would take you. Bolton Valley's on the Indy Pass, so if you use one of those, something like that, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if Smuggler's Notch has lights offhand, so if you want to go late, Bolton Valley's where to go. But like I said, I wouldn't swap Stowe because of going up on the big mountain. Like I said, for me personally, that just fascinates me, being the tall. I like the elevations. I like the altitudes. And it doesn't like me. Lord knows I get elevation sick much higher than that, not too much higher than that. But, I'd have to say 3,000, 3,500 feet higher than that is when I start to feel it. Well, I start to feel it. It doesn't matter. In any case, if I was going to do it, I would switch out Smuggler's Notch for Bolton Valley. As you can see, you do have to come down. If you go back to the map, you come down and then you have to cut over and then back up. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know the area that well. I don't know if you can just cut across from Route 100 straight. I think you have to go down to near I-89. You don't have to get on I-89, but you can go down near it and then you cut over. So that's that area. And those are the choices. And like I said, for me, I would probably switch Smuggler's Notch for Bolton Valley. Now, that also brings us down to another Twitter fans saying that I love his golden Pentagon. Does he do Pentagon now? Is he up to Pentagon? Kaplan, Eric, are you up to Pentagon? I don't know if you are, but we're going to go down to a place I know. We're going into southern Vermont. Now, you do have you're going to see the mountains represented here were omitted because, again, the simple version is just dropping down Route 100. None of these are on Route 100, but none of them are far off of Route 100. 2 of them are on Route 11, and 1 is on Route 30. It's not even on Route 30. You drop to Route 30 and then follow its access road up. And then you can either go back down towards Winhall and Bonneville, or you could go out through West Wordsboro, actually. Anyway, let's take a look at the map, and you can see it. Now, the one I'm saying you could swap out is Okemo. Now, people love Okemo or people hate Okemo. I've never heard it's okay. It's either they love it or they hate it. But then that offers up 3 other options: Bromley, Magic Mountain, and Stratton. Now, here's my feeling on it. I don't know which one of those 3 I would swap for Okemo. And here's why. I love Stratton. I do. I really have enjoyed it. I've been to it a bunch. And again, a lot of that had to do, not that I'm hating on it, not saying this was the only reason I went, but a lot of that had to do with the fact that I knew people there and I was getting tickets for nothing. So that's awesome. Plus, I've been to Bromley before as well, and I love Bromley. And Bromley has the wonderful fact about Bromley is it faces south. So as long as it's a sunshiny day, that sun is on you all day long. That's pretty awesome. And then you have Magic Mountain. Now, Magic Mountain, as you can see from the map, or as you could see on the map, is that it is closer to Route 100. If you're coming down Route 100 and you get to Route 11, you take a left to go to Magic, you take a right to go to Bromley. Now, you go down to Magic, you go all the way over there, then you get on its access road and go up, where Bromley is literally right on the road. Like, if you left your car on the highway, which you shouldn't do, you're practically in the parking lot. So there's your choices. Plus, people love Magic. People love Magic Mountain. It is challenging. It has its cool steeps. It has its smaller vibe. Also an Indy Pass mountain, just like Bolton Valley. So if you have one of those, then that kind of makes your choice. But people love that place. They absolutely love it. God, I mean, this year, you keep up with what people are saying about it, and people friggin' love it. They just love it. So it really is your pick. Now, Stratton, of course, is going to be the bigger, higher-end corporate mountain vibe. Icon mountain vibe. That's what it is. It's on the Icon Pass. Bromley are they Indy? Who owns Bromley now? I can't remember, but they are smaller. And plus, they have that great, like I said, if it's a sunny day and they're facing south, that sun is just on you all day. It's beautiful. And then Magic is an Indy Pass mountain, is independent, is smaller, but people love it because it has its, the vibes that it has, and it's wonderful people who run it, I suppose. I've never met them, but it's supposed to be a wonderful place. Which one would I do? It's hard for me to even say. So I'll put it like this. I've never skied Magic, so if this were my trip, I would put that one on there first, just because A, I've never been there, and B, people love it as much as they do, and I've been to the other two. So I would pick Magic personally. If I was feeling lazy, I would pick Stratton, absolutely. And I would probably pick any one of the three of those over Okemo. Not that I hate Okemo, not that I'm hating on Okemo or the town of Ludlow, but I just love that area down Bromley, Magic, and Stratton. Not far from where I grew up, obviously, which was more closer to Mount Snow. But those would be the ones I would pick. Those are the ones I would pick from, and then I would probably throw Magic on there as well. Being where I am right now, I have a friend who lives on Route 30 between not Magic, but Bromley and Stratton, and Magic's right there, which his parents don't live far from there either. See, all my friends and their families still live here. It's wonderful. So if it were me, anyway, I would just crash at my boy's house and do all three. But on this trip down Route 100, I would absolutely pick Magic. So there you go. My picks for this trip would be Jay Peak, Bolton Valley, Stowe, Mad River Glen, Sugar Bush, Killington Pico, Magic Mountain, and Mount Snow if I were to tour as close to Route 100 as I can get. And as you saw on the first map, that's Route 100 and all the mountains. That obviously isn't all the mountains in Vermont, obviously. There were other ones on there that are left off. Suicide 6, for example, Queechee, the ones that are actually closer to the current Ski Rex Media headquarters. So there you go. That's my take on that. Thank you, Mike, for your question. Thank you for letting me delve into it. And I'm pretty sure I could take it even further because I love maps and I love cartography and I love planning road trips. And all those things work together. Again, like I said, is for the lodging, man, I would just go to, I would even go on Google Maps and just start picking them out and seeing which one had the highest rating versus the price you want to pay. Unless you're going to do it in an RV or a van, and then, you're just pulling over places, which is fine too, whatever you want to do. So that's my take on it. I hope it answered your question, or at least I hope it was entertaining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for allowing me to do this with you all today. If you'd like to see more Q&A videos, there's two things you can do. You can go to the minicast playlist here on the YouTube channel and look at the other videos, or you can submit a question on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Tag me in your question or use the hashtag SRM question so I can find it, or the email skirexforever, like the number 4 @gmail.com. All that's down in the description, so you can look that up and check that out. And I would appreciate it because I like the question and answer series. I think other people do as well. And I have a couple more lined up that are going to come out in the coming days and weeks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating in the Ski Rex Media experience. I am Tim once again. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I will see you out there. Later.